Hello friends, and welcome to the English version of Defense Matrix. In recent times, there have been questions about why there are export orders for the JF-17 while the LCA Tejas hasn't seen confirmed orders yet. This is a discussion on why this might be the case. The short answer is, there's a couple of reasons. One, budgets and economics, and two, the fact that the JF-17 has been in service for quite a while. The JF-17 is a cheap aircraft, said to be in the price range of $25 to $30 million per unit, and can even be priced lower by stripping equipment out of it further. The low cost is partly because of the cost-cutting approach in its design and construction, as well as the material used to manufacture it. Design-wise, it's based on a semi-monocoque approach to airframe construction. This isn't terrible in itself, but it's a feature of the 1970s and 80s, and necessitates compromises in durability. When one introduces a fighter jet in the 21st century, composite is the way to go, not monocoque. Lower costs have been made possible through the use of aluminum alloys instead of composite material, which is significantly more expensive. Next, consider that fly-by-wire control has been implemented in a very limited way, only in the pitch axis, while roll and yaw axes are still governed by conventional control. Of course, this doesn't mean that the aircraft doesn't meet design expectations, but only that these expectations were modest to begin with. Another aspect that reduces cost is the fact that the JF-17 uses a Russian engine, which is generally much cheaper than Western engines. Again, not necessarily an evil, as the aircraft does function as expected, but the problem is in long-term durability, service life, and reliability. Then consider the weapons package. It's common knowledge that Chinese weapons are cheaper when compared with both Western and Russian weapons. As you can see, there are numerous aspects where corners have been cut to save on cost. There's no doubt the JF-17 is a cheap aircraft. However, this doesn't in itself make it a poor aircraft by just being low cost. The JF-17 is functional, it's been in service for a while, and it appears to deliver decent value for the money. The trouble is with durability and maintainability over the long term of 30 to 40 years of use. There is a price to pay for cutting costs. The added costs from a compromised airframe life, engine life, and reliability would quickly add up to be not so cheap in the long run. Having said that, there's actually a good reason that the JF-17 can be offered with a low price tag. Over 150 units of this aircraft have been manufactured so far, and this volume of production is sufficient to bring economies of scale to bear. This means that the per unit cost is as low as it can get, and the benefit of lower production costs can be passed on to buyers. That's the benefit of having inducted the aircraft into service early on when compared to the LCA Tejas. Now, consider the circumstances for countries that have either placed orders or have expressed interest. The Myanmar Air Force already operates the JF-17 with 6 of these fighters in service. A total of 16 had been ordered, and the remaining 10 are pending delivery. The Myanmar Air Force operates both Russian and Chinese aircraft in decent numbers. They have Su-30s, MiG-29s, J-7s, as well as the Nanchang A-5. They've ordered 12 Su-30s and are upgrading their MiG-29s to the SM standard. They operate 24 J-7s that were purchased from China. With the outdated J-7 on its way out, both Pakistan and Myanmar are scouting for replacements. The JF-17 sits perfectly as a replacement option for the old J-7, since the cost of replacement needs to be kept low, while gaining something from a capability standpoint. The Nigerian Air Force is another buyer of the JF-17, as their primary fighter is the Chengdu J-7. Same reasoning applies. The JF-17 is a perfect replacement for the J-7 considering the cost. Look at the Argentine Air Force. Their main fighter is the A-4AR Fighting Hawk, which is basically an upgrade of the A-4 Skyhawk. This platform was introduced way back in 1956. If you had to replace this aircraft and it was going to be your main fighter required in substantial numbers, you wouldn't be looking for an expensive fighter. The JF-17 fits the bill here. Azerbaijan has also been offered the JF-17 by China, and at a surprisingly low price, reportedly at $17 to $18 million apiece. Azerbaijan's main fighter is MiG-29, but they also operate the MiG-21, and as an economical replacement for the MiG-21, the JF-17 is rather well placed. Finally, Sri Lanka has also been in the news for expressing interest in the JF-17. Once again, they operate the J-7, and the JF-17 naturally might appear to be a budget-friendly upgrade option. The price point of the JF-17 gives it an edge in the international market, despite its shortcomings in design and technology. Now, what about the lack of export orders for the Tejas? By contrast, the LCA Tejas is rather expensive, with a price tag that's comparable to the Su-30. As the production rate of the Tejas is only ramping up now and sufficient volumes have not yet been produced to push down unit costs, this adds to the final bill. Production has not yet reached the critical mass that's necessary to benefit from economies of scale. Design and material have been optimized for long-term durability and reliability, and that does not come cheap. Nearly 90% of the airframe is made of composite material, significantly adding to the manufacturing cost. It's fitted with an American engine, in particular one that's known worldwide for its excellent service life and reliability, and this engine carries an American price tag. Safety-wise, quadruple redundancy fly-by-wire technology has been implemented on all three axes: pitch, yaw, and roll. Weapons integration is comprehensive, with the ability to fire a wide variety of Western, Russian, and Indian weapons. Overall, between the Tejas and the JF-17, there's no contest in the upfront costs for procurement. But over the duration of its service life, the Tejas is expected to be much more economical to operate and maintain. What then is the LCA Tejas market? Let's say countries currently operating F-16s or F-18s, which are looking for replacements in substantial numbers at a slightly more economical price and who have point defense requirements to meet. These customers may find the Tejas attractive at its price point. It's obvious that this is not a vast market, unlike the market for low-cost fighters, because there's always going to be a large number of countries needing to update their fighter fleets on a tight budget, for whom expensive jets would fall out of budget. After all, even buyers who can afford the Tejas may naturally want to wait until the Tejas is fully inducted into service by the Indian Air Force in its various iterations. The Tejas is only now in the process of being inducted into service and is ready for the time when its capability and mettle can shine through in critical missions. As induction gathers momentum and the platform matures over the coming decade, the export potential of the LCA Tejas will only improve. And on this note, we come to the end of the video. Please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Jai Hind.